Hello and welcome to Mickey Art. My name's Michelle Edhouse and today we are creating with the tail of a bottle. Yay! Well, actually, tail of 5 bottles. How does it get any better than that? So, what I've done is I have gone around and cut off the bottle. Bump, bump. And I've actually got 3 different bottle types here. These 2 are water bottles, these 2 are Cokey Fanta type bottles, and this one's off a weird plastic can of water that the gorgeous Linda gave me. And I've as you can see, I have used this one before. So what's going to get created today is a re-pour. I'm using this canvas which I need to sand. This was underneath the letters. If you have been following my videos, you'll know that I did some letters recently with my son, and this was underneath them, and we poured the letters and I tried to make something out of it and it came out really ugly. So I have put a coat of paint over top of it and we're going to re-pour over this one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, oh, that's jumped into some white. I'm going to do a multi-pour. Multi-pour with that one in the middle, like that. So I'm just going to give this a quick sand, and I've noticed that I've lost one of my my feet, so I'm going to fix that, grab my colours, and I'll be right back with you. Right, so now it doesn't wobble, look at that. Wahey! Now this is going to be a negative space pour, and I'm just going to lift you up a little bit further. Ooh, sorry. So you can actually see the whole thing. Can we see the whole thing yet? That's better. Great. So when you do a negative space pour, you always put the negative space on first. And it's been a while since I've done a negative space pour. This paint is from Bunnings, which is a New Zealand, Australia Home Depot-y type place. And it is a super cheap house paint. It's called Spring, and this is the what's that thing called? This is semi-gloss. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, universe. I'm funny sometimes. Words escape me. It's semi-gloss, and it is like $45 for 10 litre pail, so which is like 2 gallons. And that, for you in America where you pay like nothing for your paint, that's a lot. That's very cheap. It's about, you're looking more at $80 a gallon is the standard price, roughly. So to get to like 2.5 gallon for $45 is dream come true. And I mix it with Floetrol and water. Let me just... And pretty much when I'm mixing, when I pour it back into the pot like this and it doesn't leave a ridge when it's pouring, it's pretty much how I want it. And this is very freshly mixed, so I'm not sure I mixed it quite thoroughly enough. How does it get any better? What would it take for it to come out greater than I ever imagined? For those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I like to ask questions. I don't like my paper to move though. Questions like, what would it take for it to come out greater than I ever imagined? It's basically saying to the universe, I am willing for this to work, but not only work, but be greater than I thought it could be. Now sometimes, as those of you that have followed my channel for a while, that means I end up doing something completely different than what I'd planned. Especially when you've got little hairs that decide to be in your paint. Alright, so I'm going to clean my hands and start this off with clean hands. Okay, so I was playing with these bottle tops the other day, earlier in the day, and asking what sort of design should I do. Looks like we might have some silicone coming up from the old painting. How's it getting any better than that? And what the awareness I got was that I wanted it to be kind of symmetrical, but kind of not. And for that purpose, I'm putting the two that are like each other on diagonals from each other, and the one that's on its own is the centerpiece. Alright, and what colors am I going to use today? Let's have a look. I've got my sexy green that I made myself, and this was made from phthalo blue, Viridian Hue, cobalt blue and white. We've got silver, we've got ultramarine blue, and we've got crimson. So I've also got some white that I can throw in there if I choose to, if I feel like it wants a bit of pop. And I've also got on standby, but not sure if I'll use it, my black, which is Mars Black. And last time I used it, it was a bit thick, so I'm just going to water that down a little bit. Hopefully not so much I ruin the painting. So the next question that I have for myself, and I like taking you guys through the process of how I create, how I design. So if this isn't for you, just skip past it. That's what the little bar is on the bottom, the little red bar. Just skip along till you see some paint, and then you'll be good and happy. Don't complain that I talk too much. That's your fault, not mine. I'd like them all to be different. I'd like it to sort of have that garden feel. So I'm going to have a couple that are made up out of a flip cup. Well, not a flip cup. A dirty pour is a better description. So I'm going to make one cup and do the dirty pour out of the one, two of them out of one dirty pour. And because of the way it's going to be made, you're going to end up with two very different flowers, because one will be from the top end of the pot and one will be from the bottom end. I am going to give that a bit of a stir though. So I'm going to do that on these two. That's where I'm getting to do that. Leave that to drain. A little bit more in there. And then I'm really liking that flip cup style. So now I'm going to do another flip cup. This one's going to be in a different order. And keep that can over there. So once again we're going to put the white in the bottom, and I'm going to steel myself for this one. Some of you know I hate pink, and I'm just making pink by doing that. Ah! La 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 la. And then I'm going to put the silver in. And then I'm going to put the green in. And then I'm going to put the blue on top of that. And where's my stir stick? Give it a stir. Now, this one's going to be different for two reasons. Different shape lid. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 thingy whatsits. Whereas this one's only got 5. But also, we've got the blue and the green on top, whereas this one had the red and the silver. Okay, I haven't actually poured on these bases yet, and I'm not sure it's going to work. Suddenly There's a lot of paint sitting on top of there. Is it actually going to go down the ridges or not? That's going to be a really interesting experiment. Yeah, we've got some going. I don't want too much at a time to go over, otherwise we're going to just end up with a mess. Just like that. Just like that, we got a mess. Ah! And a drip. That's okay. We'll make it pretty. There she blows. Right, I've got so much paint in here, it's just huge. Some of you may remember me doing this on the bottom of my vase, digging that paint out and pushing it over the sides. There's our pink. It's wobbling. Okay, so while those two drain, I'm gonna remove these two. And see what the centers do on those. You'll notice I put a plastic underneath them. That was so that we didn't get drips all over the place. Now, what I'd like to do in the centers of these is to do little spiral pours in the center. Triple it. As you get less and less paint into your pot, it becomes actually a lot easier to control. But you do need to slow it down so that you keep that continual flow. Sorry you can't see this. Alright. Now I think, I'm not even sure. Do 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 do. Now these water bottles are actually really squishy, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get underneath. What can I use? Break the seal. Here we go. Just that one. Clean my knife before I go into the other one. There we go. They're definitely different, aren't they? Now, while they're settling, doing their thing, bam, 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 bam. That one's a bit closer than I wanted it to be. Try and get that a little bit more centered. I'm going to do a standard flower in the middle. So some of you are saying, what's a standard flower? Well, in acrylic pouring, it's where a bottom bottle is used to make a flower, and you tend to do it by alternating the colours like this. Let me zoom you in on that so you can see what's going on. There is a little bit of control required to try and get all the colours to go off all the sides reasonably evenly. See, that red's going in that way, but it doesn't seem to want to come this way. Way too much. So I'm just going to let that drain over there while I contemplate my contemplate my next move on these. I'm not sure I want spirals in the center of all of them, that's all. So I'm just going to drip Now what you might notice is that the four on the outside, because I put the bottles directly down onto the ground, they had quite a big gap under them. Whereas this one, because it's up on the top of a shot glass, the paint's actually running underneath the bottle. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you couldn't see my drips. Huh. Oops. Now, what's the purpose of the drips? I want to keep some of that white. Oh my goodness. What's next? What's next is I'm going to take this off. See, there's a much smaller circle underneath that. The next question is, do I tilt it or do I just sit and hope that it dries beautifully like that? I'm going to let this centre close up a little bit. Just creating a bit of a smear centre, this one. I'm just going to rinse my hands. Okay. I'm actually not going to tip it much because I've noticed that the white is actually already starting to set. So I need to get some white in that hole there. That one's closed up. And then I'm going to get a toothpick and I'm going to do some dancing with the toothpick. What do you reckon? Tell you what, these little pots with the hole in the top that you can shake a toothpick out of are brilliant if you're doing acrylic pouring. And you all thought I was going to leave them as dots. No, I never have dots. Love hearts, it's so much more fun. Yeah, between each swipe I'm actually running the toothpick between my fingers to clean it. Oops, that was a bit off center. And what that does is means that when you dip it in the white, you're not leaving a big blotch of colour. Right, so a little bit more definition in those ones. Let's get the torch out, guys. Let's see what gets created. Because there's silicone in here somewhere. Definitely got air bubbles in there, that's for sure. Now those spiral pores in the middle of those two red ones are not exciting me much. So, what's my next favourite tool when it comes to making things more exciting? A straw! Whoop, whoop, whoop. Excuse my head, shoulder. That's a little bit more wiggly woggly. I like that better. Let's see if I can do something similar with the other one. Make sure my jersey doesn't dip into the painting. Well, it's definitely different. I just gave that block a big puff. And now I'm going to try and find where did I put my toothpick down? Can anybody see my toothpick? Aha! Thank you. It was off camera, so you probably didn't see it, but I'm quite liking that. I might do more of those. Whoops. I think that's enough. Now the white over in this corner has actually set up, so I'm grabbing some white off the runoff to do my petals. That dot was green and blue. When I blew on it, all the pink came up from underneath. What's right about that I'm not getting? Stepping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes makes you frown and moan. What if it could be fun? Having fun with everyone. Chum bum 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 bum. That's how it goes. Bum 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 bum. Everybody knows when you step out of your comfort zone, you can have so much fun. Flowers in pink. So not me. What's right about this? I'm not getting. I'm just adding some blue into that center because it was looking very plain. A little bit about a bit of green. All right. Huh. We got there. They're all done. Look at this. This is totally collapsing in on itself. That's really funny. But that has given me a very cool idea. So, my sweet ones, I'm going to leave this one as it is. And I will see you your time in 3, 2, 1. All right, here it is. And oh, dear me, what is it with paintings with me? One day I will learn to put my covers on them straight away. But check this out. Let me zoom in on it for you. Bum, 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 ba-da-la! Yep, some sweet insect landed plump in the middle of this petal, crawled its way out, dragging itself, and I think you can just see the fine little footprints leaving that flower, and it escaped. It really did. It thought it was lucky, and then it hit the next flower. It was really being unaware, not looking where it was going, and hit the second flower. Ah dear, how does it get any better than this? So, what did I learn from this? I learnt that we cover our work even in winter when there's no flies around. I thought there was no flies around. But let's have a look at these. They've come out really cool. I'm going to zoom in on each one. These ones I'm not so fussed about. Yeah, I'm not overly fussed, but I do love the little love hearts in the middle. The one that got attacked by a fly. I love these. I think these petals are gorgeous. They remind me of seashells. And yeah, I really like them. And then we've got the one in the middle, and that looks like a whole heap of peacock feathers glued in a circle, which is kind of cool. Not quite the right colours, but you know, you get the idea. This one, really motley, manky, weird. And again, I love the way these petals came out. But overall, I'm not a huge fan of this painting. And even with, like, I don't know, I really like this flower. And I like it more with the bug exiting trail. It's really funny. So how does it get any better than that? So this one will be going in my, well, that was fun, pile. If anyone wants it and you're willing to pay the shipping, I'm happy to ship it to you for free. But yeah, it might actually be cheaper to send it if I took it off the board and rolled it, but I don't know. I know that's how we shipped some of my paintings to Europe when I was doing brush art. We dismantled them, took them off the thing, put them in a tube and sent them that way, and then they had to get them reboxed at the other end. Anyway, that one has made me giggle. It was fun pouring it, and I really like these. Really feel like I could get some cool pendants out of that. If anybody has had any experience with dipping things in resin and then hanging them to dry, to set, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love another option other than those pre-made pendant backings. And any suggestions? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, I adore you all. How much fun can you have playing with paint and playing with your life? What if all of life can come to you with ease and joy and glory? I adore you all, and I will see you again in another video. Bye-bye.